Hello everyone, it's GromitFan01 here, and welcome to my cracking video. After the success of the 3 Wallace and Gromit short films, Aardman Animations felt that it was time to expand their work and move into the world of feature films. With a budget of $45 million and that had taken 5 years to make, Aardman's first feature film, Chicken Run, was released worldwide on the 23rd of June 2000. Before I start the review, I would just like to thank everyone who voted last month for me to review this movie. So with this being the first feature-length movie for the studio, is it an excellent success, or does it smell like rotten eggs? Well, let's take a look. Ginger, voiced by Julie Sawalha, and her fellow hens live on a sinister chicken farm somewhere in the north of England, run by Mrs. Tweedy, voiced by Miranda Richardson, and her husband, Mr. Tweedy, voiced by Tony Haygarth. With their lives at risk when not producing enough eggs and being sent to the chop, Ginger leads her group of chickens to freedom by escaping the farm every day. But every escape attempt backfires, and just when all hope seems lost, a rooster named Rocky, voiced by Mel Gibson, flies over the farm but crash lands in the process. Ginger soon sees hope and insists Rocky that he could teach them how to fly. While Rocky teaches them verbally how to fly, the Tweedies soon start to make plans by making the hens into chicken pies via the pie machine, and it's soon a race against time for the chickens to make their great escape. Now, with this being Aardman's first big full movie to the big screen, it keeps the audience well engaged with its superb story and witty characters that are memorable and funny throughout the film. The plot heavily references to prison escape movies, particularly The Great Escape, but Chicken Run still has its own originality as a whole. The story is just so fluid, as it really takes you on a journey in this world that is so wacky and charming to be around. Even though it's set in a prisoner of war camp, the sets and the lighting are just so very atmospheric that it just feels so real somehow. From the Tweedy spooky house to the chicken huts, it just feels so great to be around in this world, even though to the chickens it's a place of torture to them. The characters in this world are probably some of the best that has ever come out of the Aardman feature film library, and the performance by the actors are just pure gold. Jane Horrocks' performance as Babs is a great example, bringing the character's stupidity, innocence and charm that the character has. While the visual jokes aren't that memorable in the movie, its clever dialogue is just pure delight and funny to hear and watch, with some memorable ones that everyone will recognise, as well as some that are quite touching to hear from these characters, especially the scene where Rocky and Ginger talk on the roof near the movie's third act. Not only because how this scene was written, but how the animators brought this scene to life made this scene even more touching. But with all these great characters, the one character that I feel that doesn't have much character development has to be Rocky. Now don't get me wrong, his voice by Mel Gibson was amazing, but it just felt that there was something lacking in his character. It might have something to do with his cockiness, or the way he is credited way too much in the film. But to be honest, I'm just not fond of this character that much. It's only near the end that he becomes more of a likeable character, but for the most part, he is not my favourite. Also, one of the scenes that just felt a bit boring and gets hammered down too much is the training scene. We all know that chickens can't fly, so seeing them train like this just feels a bit unrealistic in the Aardman world. But the way they escaped in the flying crate machine in the end of the movie was just so much better than just the chickens just flying themselves. It gave the ending more excitement and more action, not to mention the fight between Ginger and Mrs. Tweedy. So in my honest opinion, Chicken Run shows Aardman at its best with a story that is so engaging and characters that are so unique that Aardman fans and families and audiences will love to watch again and again. It's an Aardman classic that can be watched by generations to come. I'm GromitFan01 and I hope you enjoyed the video.